Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, we'd like to pay homage even more to our founders. We'll just give you a bit of highlights on each of them. The Reverend Rufus Stubble, March 18, 1873 to August 19, 1954. Born in St. George's, Bermuda to former slaves, Reverend Stubble initially left school early to work as a mason. After training at the Collegiate Institute, he accepted a teaching post in 1896 at Southampton Glebe and later became headmaster. In 1913, he was ordained to the ministry and over the next 40 years pastored 9 churches in Bermuda. Reverend Stubble eventually amalgamated his North Village schoolhouse to create the well-known Central School. This mason, teacher, lodge man, unionist, and preacher spent his life leading the charge for better education in Bermuda. Edith Crawford, October 5, 1881 to March 20, 1978. Miss Crawford studied with the great George DaCosta, the first headmaster of the Berkeley Institute, and subsequently passed her Cambridge School Certificate exam after having failed the first time. She taught at Gyrus Swan Primary School and Elliott Primary, and then launched her own school in Alaska Hall. Her fight for adequate funding and resources to lead the construction of Central School with a population of 900 students. Until her retirement, she taught under Mr. Victor Scott, where she instilled discipline, demanded respect, and demonstrated a love for her students. Miss Matilda Crawford, July 30th, 1879 to September 29th, 1948. From a one-room schoolhouse, Matilda Crawford was dedicated to teaching reading, writing, arithmetic, and scripture. She ran her own school on Tills Hill, where students paid for their own education and there was no funding from government. In spite of racial boundaries and limited options for women, Matilda Crawford was proud of her chosen path in the noblest career. Miss Adele Tucker, August 8, 1868 to January 4th, 1971. Miss Adele's life as a servant leader was reflected in the bestowment of an MBE. For over 30 years, she was headmistress of the Paget Glebe School, where nothing less than excellence was the standard. She was also the president of the Cottage Hospital Nursing Home Auxiliary and the founder of the Heron Bay Girl Guide Company. An historical icon, Miss Adele Tucker was the first person to receive her government pension on her 100th birthday in 1968. I welcome Ms. Patricia Pugson Nesbitt back to present our Founders Blaze Awards.
The Kindle Blaze represents the flame ignited by our founders 100 years ago on February 1st, 2019. This token in memory of our founders represents the blaze that still exists in our union today. As we pay homage to them, their memory, and their contribution of birthing our union, with great pride and honor, we present this to their families. Please join me in welcoming the family representatives receiving in honor of Reverend Rufus Stubble, Edith Crawford, Matilda Crawford, and Adele Tucker.
Thank you. On behalf of the Stubble family, we humbly accept this award. I just have to say that teachers are the unsung heroes of Bermuda. Without teachers, nothing would be possible. So I just want to personally thank every teacher that's in this room, because you all do a sterling job. And I just have to say thank you on behalf of our family. And it's really humbling to stand here tonight as the great-grandson of Reverend Rufus Stubble. And I will say one other thing. When I was young growing up, I didn't know much about my ancestors. And I really began to gain knowledge of Reverend Rufus Stubble when I was a grown man. So the important thing is we have to teach our young people about their ancestors and the great things that they did. I actually saw Reverend Rufus Stubble's picture on the wall at Victor Scott School when I was mentoring there. And when I read the plaque, it quickly became clear to me that he had founded the school. So, you know, we really need to teach our young people so that they know early on about their ancestors and all the great things that they did. So, once again, thank you. We are very humbled. Thank you to the organizers. This is a beautiful room. Whoever did this, set this up, did a wonderful, wonderful job. So thank you and enjoy the evening.
At this time, if there are any family members from the cousins, Matilda and Edith Crawford, can you make your way to the stage, please? Any family members of the cousins, Edith and Matilda Crawford? And finally, if there are any family members of Adele Tucker, would you kindly make your way to the stage? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Please welcome Sister Renee Heiliger, who will be the next presenter. Good evening, everyone. Over the past 100 years, we've had several leaders who have carried the blaze of our union, many of whom we know, some of whom who have been lost in the archives. Either way, we take this moment to remember the leaders of our union who have passed on. Reverend Richard Tubbett, Mr. Gerard Bean, Miss Aurelia Birch, Mrs. Rosalind Bertram, Mr. Ivan Cunningham, Mr. C.A. Isaac Henry, Dr. Clifford Maxwell, Dr. Kenneth E. Robinson, Mr. Arnold Simmons, Mr. Russell Smith, Mr. Charles Snaith, Mr. R.G. Stubble, Mr. Austin Thomas, Ms. McNeil Warner, and Mr. Vinton Williams. Please join me in a moment of silence for those leaders, but also for every educator who has passed on. Thank you. At this time, we invite any family members of those past presidents who are no longer with us to allow us to honor you as we remember them. Please stand. Everyone, please stand. If there are any family members who are of any of their past presidents who have passed on, please stand. Thank you very much.
So here we are at St. John's Graveyard. It's a humbling feeling when I look at all the members, when I see everybody here, when I think of what happened 100 years ago. It's a humbling experience. It's a humbling feeling. But I want to thank everybody for making this day possible. To everybody that played their role for this union, thank you so much.
It's inspiration through the workers' shall run. There can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on hold my breath, scared to rock the boat and make a mess. So I said quietly, agreed politely. I guess that I forgot I had a choice. I let you push me past the breaking point. Don't help for nothing, so I fell for everything. But I got up, already pushing off the dust. You hear my voice, you hear that sound. Like thunder gonna shake the ground, held me down. But I got up, got ready 'cause I've had enough. I see it all, I see it now. I got the eye of the tiger, fire, dancing through the fire. 'Cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar. Louder, louder than a lion. 'Cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. You're gonna hear me roar. Louder, louder than a lion. 'Cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. You're gonna hear me roar. Oh, 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 oh. You're gonna hear me roar. Shattered, but I'm not broken. But time will heal every blow. The cross I bear, lonely the road I trod, I
The union membership increased from 105 to 306.
February 29, 1964. The BUT and the Teachers Association of Bermuda amalgamated, forming the ABUT.
May 5th, 1981, the amalgamated Bermuda Union of Teachers marched from Bernard Park to Union Square and stood in solidarity with other unions engaged in a national strike.
1991, an independent review, commonly referred to as the Federal, attempted to achieve a more parity and awarded teachers a base salary of $35,000, along with the then BTSA salary of $42,200.
August 2nd to 7th, 1997, the Bermuda Union of Teachers hosted the 28th Biennial Conference of Caribbean Union of Teachers.
October 28, 2002, teachers engaged in a week-long strike, readdressing the issue of parity that effectively floods every school in the Bermuda public education system. This was the first time in history that all public schools were closed due to a strike for an entire week.
February 2009, the Bermuda Union of Teachers celebrated its 90th anniversary at the Fairmont, Southampton, which recognized 90 of its dynamic members.
2013, the Bermuda Union of Teachers joined the BUT under the umbrella of the Bermuda Trade Union Compact and against the historical round of negotiations with the Bermuda government, which resulted in further fees.
October 28 to 29, 2013, the Bermuda Union of Teachers engaged in a parliamentary style election process to vote the next executive committee in office.
February 1st, 2014, at the Fairmont Hampton, the 95th Founders Day prayer breakfast of the Bermuda Union of Teachers was held.
2015, the BUT along with other sister unions under the umbrella of the Bermuda Trade Union Conference went on strike and collectively took a stand. Occupying cabinet ground against the government's proposal to extend the school period. April 2016, the BUT launched the hashtag Schools Our Children's Desire campaign to bring awareness to the unhealthy conditions of Bermuda's public schools.
January 3rd, 2018, the BUT signed a contract after working without a foreign agreement for 6 years.
February 1st, 2018, the BUT launched a countdown to 100 Congress events in preparation for their 100th anniversary celebrations.
July 2008. Coming to Bermuda for the first time, the BUT hosted the CUT Games, a proposal to Bermuda the primary and middle school students and public championship title.
February 1st, 2019, the BUT proudly became the first labor union in Bermuda to celebrate its centenary anniversary. This is a celebration that many have fought to make a reality. This is a celebration. This is a celebration that was sparked by death and depression. This is a celebration that is wrought by hardship. This is a celebration that is kindled by passion. This is a celebration that is well-earned, well-imaged, and well-deserved. And so we sing. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.
Let's give a round of applause to Bermuda's Noir Theater Company, Bermuda's only student-directed theater organization featuring students of the Cedar Bridge Academy.